All right. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Apologize for the delay getting started. I was running into some technical issues this morning on getting the stream up and running. So I just want to check if you guys can just comment in the chat whether or not you can hear me or see me. That would be great. And again, if you're just joining, just want to check if you guys can see me and hear me. I was having some issues earlier with sound and getting the stream up and running. Give you guys a chance, I'll join. And if anyone is on my team, are you? Yeah, you guys can hear me? Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. I apologize. We're a few minutes late today. Both good? Awesome. Okay. I'm going to take that as a win then. So technology is behaving. Well, welcome to today's session. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. Again, this is Keith Hawken with Top Producer. Today, we're kind of going to go back to the basics, and this session is really, even if you're a current user, a new user, you've had Top Producer for a while this session is focused on, getting set up for success and new users specifically, I think there's a lot here that you'll get from this session. So with that being said, just a couple of rules. If this is your first time attending one of these sessions are intended to be collaborative. I don't want them to be me driving the entire conversation. While I do have some prepared content, this is an opportunity for you to ask us questions and ask me questions. So anything related to Top Producer, no questions are off the table. So please take the one thing that really makes these sessions really beneficial for everybody is when there's participation, because while you might, when you ask a question, you'd be surprised how many other people had that same question. They just haven't asked it. So with that being said, let's get started. So, I'm really a huge proponent and supporter of, for you to really get the most out of any technology tool, you need to make sure it's set up and make sure that you have all the aspects of the software set up so that you can get the most out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through the 5 things that I think are most important for you to get set up and get the most out of Top Producer. So that with that being said, we'll get started. Someone said my lateness is gonna be on my permanent record. I know. Don't tell my boss, please. So with that being said, look, the reason you have Top Producer is one to help you build your database, right? Really keep track of all your clients. It's really about helping you make personal connections, right? Your database is not just a bunch of names and phone numbers. These are real people that expect you to treat them like they're a human, right? Treat them with respect and build that trust and credibility and rapport with them. So you can only do that by making, those connections really personal. Treat them as a one-to-one person. And the other part is help you stay top of mind and with people and with simplified follow-up, and then stay organized is really how it is. So I just want to pause for a moment. Someone said, are you live? I'm trying to watch on my phone. Hey, Julie, we are live. So I don't know if you're able to see it, but we are definitely live. So with that being said, here's 5 things that are going to help you really kind of get the most out of Top Producer. The first one is in Top Producer X, we have this really, really powerful feature called Property Insights. And what I'm going to do in today's session, I'm going to bounce between slides and going live. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Property Insights. I'm going to go through it and go from there. So the one great thing with Property Insights is this is a way for you to track kind of all of the properties your buyers are interested in, inquired on, you've shown them, and the status of those properties. So what's really great about this feature is you can add all these properties into the buyer's record, and then as things happen, the statuses will update real time inside Top Producer. So when you go back and look at, oh man, the houses I showed Keith, what's happened to them? You can see which ones have sold, which ones are pending, which ones are still on the market, which ones had price reductions, things like that. So the first thing that you need to do to actually use this feature, you have to set it up. So I'm going to actually go live and show you how to do that. So I'm going to bounce over to Top Producer X. Okay. And a lot of the settings that we're going to talk about today are located under the settings option inside of TPX. So what you're going to want to do is when you're logged into Top Producer X, you're going to want to go to settings, and then you're going to want to click on MLS credentials. Okay. And then once you've done that, now if you are a member of multiple MLSs, you can add each and every one of your MLSs that you're a member of. One thing, if any of you are watching from Canada today, Canadian MLSs are not supported quite yet, but that is coming too. So stay tuned. When that does happen, we'll definitely notify you. But the next thing you need to do is just add your MLS credentials. So you'll just click on Add MLS Credentials. It'll pop up. You'll type in the name of your MLS. Like I'll use an example. Maybe some of you, I don't know where everyone is in the country, but I'll use an example. Bright MLS is a pretty large MLS out in the East Coast. And if you're a member of Bright MLS, you would pick Bright MLS from this list. And then you would just put in your agent MLS ID into this field. And then all you'll do is hit save. And if this is done correctly, your top producer will give you a status back that this was valid. And then if you want to add your next MLS, you just click on Add MLS, search for your next MLS. Maybe I'm a member of San Antonio. I click San Antonio. I type in my agent MLS ID here, and you hit Save Credentials. Once you've done that, you've now integrated Top Producer with your MLS. And that's where you can now start beginning to use the Property Insights feature. So let me kind of give you guys an actual live demo of what Property Insights is. So I'm just going to open up a contact record. And then I'm going to click on Property Insights right here. And what you'll see is I have these Property Insights that I've added. So this client, Tom and Nicole Richmond, inquired on these two homes, right? So they were showed interest in these two homes, but one of them is now sold and one is pending, no showings. If you did, show a client a home, you can add an insight just by clicking on Add Insight right here. And again, you can search, if you're a member of multiple MLSs, you can pick which MLS it's from. And then you can either search by the property address or the MLS ID of that property on your MLS. So this is one of the methods that you can use to add a property insight onto your client's contact record. The other thing too is if you do get online leads from places like Realtor.com, for example, those leads that come in will automatically add the property insight into the client's record automatically, so you don't have to do anything. Done for you. So that's how you set up Property Insights. So what I want to do is I just want to pause for a moment and see if there's any questions related to setting up your MLS integration and using the Property Insight feature. And again, if you're just joining, you can just go ahead and type those questions into the chat. All right, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to move on. Yeah, I'm just going to, someone asked, Isabel asked, will this be taped so we can view it later? Absolutely. All of our Facebook Lives are recorded and will be available on demand on our Facebook page. So this is actually, will be available right after today's session. So if you want to go back and watch it again, you can do that. Okay, excellent. So let's move on to number 2. So that was the first one, was add your MLS credentials and you can access Property Insights. Okay. The next one, which is probably one of my favorite things about the new Top Producer, is MLS. Okay, or so not MLS, email. So Top Producer X has a really fantastic email integration, and there's a couple of things that this email integration will do for you. So the first thing is it's going to actually enable you to send emails directly from Top Producer. So in order for you to use the email functionality built into Top Producer X, you have to set this up, okay? The second thing about this integration is when you send an email from Top Producer, it's going to be available to you in your mail server. So if you're like me and use Gmail, when I send an email from Top Producer, that email will be sent via Top Producer, but it's also going to be in the sent items in my Gmail account. And then the third thing is any email sent from Top Producer is tracked. And then, oh, there's one more. When you integrate your email, you will be able to see every email you have ever sent and received with that client, either from Top Producer or just in your email server. So if you send an email out of Gmail like 2 years ago, you would actually see that email in Top Producer. So the email integration is an extremely powerful part of the new Top Producer, and it's something that everyone must set up. Now, the one caveat that I will mention with this is it works with all IMAP-based emails. So your email has to be basically, IMAP, but we'll integrate things like, Gmail, Microsoft 365, Yahoo, blah, blah, blah. There's tons of integrations available that are available to you. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to set it up, and then I'm going to show you the features that this unlocks for you. Okay. I just want to, and before we do that, I'm just going to be, so Cleo asked, do we just call our board for MLS credentials? Cleo, first, before you do that, might be just best to call our team. Typically, the MLS credentials are your agent ID. Every one of you probably has an agent ID with your MLS. Typically, that's the first one. But if you need help setting it up, the best thing you can do is just call in. Someone commented, I don't see the property insight. Not sure what if you can you maybe add a little bit more color where you don't see the property insight, like if you added one you don't see it or you don't see the feature. And then someone said love TPX. Yeah, I agree, so much better than the new one. I'm super excited about it. So thanks for commenting. Okay, let's talk about email. All right, I'm going to go into my Top Producer X. So again, every setting that we're talking about today is available under the settings option inside TPX. So I'm going to click on settings, and this time, instead of going to MLS, which we did earlier, I'm going to go to email integration. So this is where you can now set up email integration. If you do not see the property in, someone said they don't see the property insight feature. Okay, I'm not sure. We'll have someone follow up with you on that one after this. So the way email integration works is all you do is just type in your email address that you want to integrate with Top Producer. So you can already see that I've already integrated my work email and my personal Gmail account. You can connect as many accounts as you want. So the biggest thing I just want you to take away from this, it has to be an IMAP-based email or things like Gmail, Google Apps, Office 365, Outlook, Exchange, Yahoo, etc. You can add as many accounts as you want. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually just going to delete one of my accounts right now and to show you what this process looks like. So I'm going to delete this one. And then we're going to go and actually re-add this one. So I'm going to add my Gmail account. I'm going to click on authorize email. And then now it's going to say, okay, what account are we going to use for Google? I'm going to choose this one. And now it's basically saying, are you ready to give Top Producer access to your email? Right? And the answer is yes, I want Top Producer to have access to my email. And once I click on allow, I've now integrated Top Producer with my email. Okay? It's that simple. And the other thing I want to also mention, if you need help with this, we are here to help you. So if you don't feel comfortable doing this on your own, just reach out to our team. You can chat live with our team right here. So for those who are just joining now, I apologize. My camera is probably blocking that chat now box. I'm just going to, but there's a chat now box in the bottom right. I'll show it after. And you can chat live with someone, or you can just call in. So let's go through, what does this unlock for me? By integrating Top Producer, what do I gain? So again, I'm going to pull up a contact. Here's Tom and Nicole. We talked about property insights already. So we talked about that earlier. But now when I go to emails, there's a couple of things I can do. The first thing is I can see any emails that I've sent and received for this person. So all my history with that contact is right here. The next thing it's going to allow me to do is I can now compose an email. Actually, I'm going to go and pull up a different contact here. Let me go and pull up myself. So I'm going to go to emails, and now I can send an email. So you can see all my email history here. I'm now going to click on compose an email. And what you can do is now you can send an email direct from Top Producer. Now you can either write an email, okay, like this, just like you would in Gmail or whatever you use for email, or you can pick from all of our templates. So we have a bunch of email templates built right in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click right here, and I can now select from all these templates. And I'm just going to use this is the most popular email. It's called Reconnecting. And it's like, hey, Keith. And then now what you'll see is it put my name in here, the recipient's name. And then it wrote out this email. Then all I do is I click on send. And to kind of recap, I've just sent that email to this contact from Top Producer, but it's also going to be in my Gmail. And that email is tracked. So if you guys see this little icon here, it means it's unopened. This one means it's been delivered. This one means it's been opened. Okay. But this email I just sent them has not been looked at yet. So I can quickly see that right in TPX. So that's what you get with the email integration. It opens up the ability to send email. It opens up the ability for you to get email tracking. And it opens up for the ability for you to see every email you've ever sent and received with a client from the past. So the email integration is a really, really important part of TPX. And again, if you have questions about email, feel free to type them away. I'll pause at some point and get to those questions. So let's continue on. So we've talked about MLS. We've talked about email. The next thing that we need to do is set up texting. So for those of you that may not know, Top Producer X has integrated text capabilities where you can actually text back and forth with clients directly from the application itself. The first thing you need to do to be able to set that up is we actually need to set it up before we can use it. And a couple things around this. Again, one thing is if you are in Canada, this feature is not available. So you will not see this available in your TPX. It'll tell you that I think you might be able to set it up, but you won't be able to actually send it to a recipient in Canada. But let's go through the setup of texting. So again, I'm going to go under settings. And now this time we've talked about email. There's another thing right here called texting. And this is where you are able to set up your texting capabilities. Okay. And I'm just going to pause for a minute. Someone said I might be frozen. Am I frozen for others? Let me know if I'm frozen, please, in the chat. I'll pause for a minute and let things catch up. Am I frozen on anyone else's screen? All right, it sounds like I'm fine. Okay, so let me talk about some of the caveats when it comes to texting. What you are doing when you are setting up the text capabilities inside of TPX is you are basically connecting Top Producer to your cell phone. At the same time, Top Producer is going to give you a phone number that is connected to Top Producer X. So what you'll see is it's going to give you another phone number. This is the phone number that when you text outside of TPX, this is the phone number that people are going to see. So if I was your client and you sent me a text out of TPX, this is the phone number. It looks like it's going to come to my phone. So one thing that you have to be aware, this is not your cell phone number. This is a phone number that we give you that is connected to your cell phone number. Okay? And the idea behind this is if this phone number is linked to your cell phone number, so someone called this phone number, texted this phone number, that's still going to come to your cell phone. Okay? It's just that we cannot text someone with your cell phone number. You can imagine the security issues that would open up for everyone. Lots of loopholes around that. So we give you a phone number that when you text out of the product that people will see. So it's really important that if you're going to use this feature, let people know that this is another one of your phone numbers, so that when you text them, they're like, who is that? Or make sure that when you text someone, it's like, hey, this is, David, from Remax or whatever, it is, so that people know who you are, because they might not have that phone number and associate that phone number to you. So it's really important you do that. But the benefits to this is when you text inside Top Producer, and I don't know if I can because I'm in Canada. So if you guys don't know I'm in Canada, you can already tell. Let me see if I can find a contact here that might let me have like a US based phone number. Let's see if I can find one here. Go to my active here. All right, let's try this one here. Let's see if this will let me. Okay. Yeah, so what I can do is I just click on send a text. It pops up, and now I can just write the text. Right? I can write this text, and when I hit send, Samuel's going to get a text message from me. But what do you gain? You gain the fact that those text messages are now tracked in your CRM. So any text message you send to Sam, any responses from Sam will be visible inside TPX. So that's the benefit of using the integrated text functionality within TPX. Okay. Is that you can now keep a log of all those text messages that you're exchanging with your clients, and text should be part of how you follow up with people. One of the things we talked about was, staying in touch. So I'm just going to take some questions here. So Cleo says, is there a TPX CRM right now? I text a lot from my phone anywhere that I am. Yeah, I mean, this feature is available to you now. If you are a current Top Producer user, you have access to Top Producer X. While it's not complete, you do have access to it. And you can start using the text feature built in there. So you just need to set it up like we talked about today. Carla asked, can you text multiple people in one text? Carla, not yet. But that is something that is on our plan. So I will make sure we take that one down. And I'm just writing it down so I don't forget it. One of the questions was, can the text be scheduled for a later time? Again, that one kind of follows the same answer as the one previously, not yet, but definitely something we've talked about actually even as recently as this week. So definitely something we want to do in some form. But great feedback and great questions. So again, all you need to do to use the text functionality, it's pretty simple, is just go under settings, click on texting, and then it will ask you to basically create and confirm your phone number. So basically link Top Producer to your cell phone. Once that's done, you can start using the integrated text functionality of Top Producer X. And when you use it, it kind of looks like something like this, right? You kind of have this log that the screenshot shows of the conversation you're having with the clients. So one of the questions Scott asked, do you need another number or can you use your existing number? As I just mentioned, you will be given a phone number in your local area code that has to be used for texting. As I mentioned, we legally cannot use your cell phone number to text from because that just opens up, like the cell carriers would not allow it. It opens up so many security loopholes. And the fact that a lot of our private information is now behind things like secondary, authentication, which is typically text messaging. You can imagine the risk that gets involved by that. So you are given a phone number that will be connected to your cell phone. So hope that answers. Raymond asked, will there be text templates available? Coming soon, Raymond. We're definitely working on that right now. So that one is coming down the road here. We are building some text templates. And then I think there was another follow-up question there. Be awesome we can do video text. Yep, definitely stuff that is kind of where I can see the text messaging, integrated text feature going. So great feedback. And one thing too, keep the feedback coming. Like this stuff is the stuff we want to hear from you. If this stuff you want, we want to know about it. So I appreciate the feedback. Okay, let's talk about number 4. Number 4 is for those of you that leverage market snapshot. So one of the things that we've done, and it's a big enhancement really for the TPX platform as a whole, is we've now brought market snapshot 100% into the TPX platform, where you can now set up, control, watch, and view the analytics of your market, the performance of your market snapshots. Previous to this, you had to use, a separate control panel. Now all of that is built right into the Top Producer X platform, where you can set it up, use it, control it, monitor it all via one system versus having to go to a secondary one. So again, let's kind of go through that flow. So the first thing you can do within TPX is you need to, if you are a Market Snapshot user, you can set up and view all of your settings under the tab called Market Snapshot. So this is where you can turn on things like, do you want me to auto send the Market Snapshot? For the buyer report, do I want expired listings? Do you not want expired listing? From a notification perspective, so for your own personal notifications, do you want a weekly summary of your performance in your Market Snapshot? Do you want us to alert you when a lead likes a property on the Market Snapshot? So when the viewer, the consumer of the Market Snapshot, if they like a property, do you want to know about it? Do you want to know when someone opens it? Do you want us to tell you that that Market Snapshot you sent to Bob opened it? Do you want to know about that? And so this is where you can kind of customize the settings for Market Snapshot if you have it. Now, again, I want to be clear: Market Snapshot is not included as part of the core package. It is a separate offering that is a little bit of an additional charge. So just to be clear. And then you can also set up how you want your listing alerts to go. So do you want to send just listed, price change, just sold, things like that? And that's where you can kind of set this all up for Market Snapshot right here. Once that's done, what you'll be able to do, and again, I'm just going to pull up my contact here. Let's use this one maybe. Let me see if I have this one. No, not this. Maybe not. So now what I can do is I can send market snapshots right from TPX. So, prior to this, it was a separate interface. Now you can do it all through this one interface. And what's great about this is you never have to leave. So now all your communication follow-up tools are all in one place. It's a real big benefit that TPX offers now. And so this is where I can now create, the different types of market snapshot reports I want to send, if it's for a buyer, a homeowner, build out the criteria, price range, bedrooms, baths, things like that. The one really great benefit, and I don't know if I have ability to show it, is the fact that we now have all the analytics as well, built right into TPX, where you can view whether or not that client opened it, did they not open it? Yeah, so here it is. So you can see, when I'm looking at snapshot reports for this person, I can see the snapshot that they were set up on. I can see if they opened it, did they click on it, did they submit any inquiries, how many times did they look at it? So this gives you the usage and the interaction that client has with Market Snapshot. Obviously, I'm using a fake person and a fake data, so I don't have any real views. But in your case, you would see something more aligned with what the screenshot showed, which is, just the engagement. So now when you're doing your follow-up, you kind of one thing you have to look at, what we're talking about today, you can email, you can text, you can send market snapshots, you can, do all those things. And now you've kind of got this hub of activity and communication that you're having with your database, which is super important. As you scale and as you get busier, you need to have that one place where everything is, so you can go back to it. You can't remember everything. And again, if you have any question about the market snapshot, please go ahead and ask those in the chat. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5 is getting people into your CRM. Okay, whether you're new, whether you're a current user, there's many different ways to get people into your CRM. And the reason you want to do that is we make your contacts smarter, right? So we've talked about the idea of the complete communication history. Another thing we also do is we give you, social insights, right? So every contact that comes in is, basically a social insight. We go out and search the internet to pull back a social insight, and things like LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Google, you name it, pull in things like their job title, their interest. But the one thing you need to do is a couple of things. If you're new to Top Producer, there's a couple of things you can do. One is we can import contacts from anywhere. So as long as you have your contacts in some sort of electronic format, preferably a spreadsheet, or your contacts are in another platform like Google, your phone, whatever it is, we can get those into Top Producer. Another thing though that you may not know is we also integrate, Top Producer with about 150 plus third-party lead partners, lead providers. And what that means is if you have certain lead generation sources online, you can integrate Top Producer to those lead generation sources where the leads will auto-populate the Top Producer system for you. So you don't have to, I want to reduce the amount of manual work you have to do, right? And so the way that works is under settings. I just want to kind of cover these two areas. Is import contacts is where you can set up the contact import. We will have contact sync coming very, very soon. I'm really excited about that. But that's where you can import your contacts. Again, you just choose your CSV file. Again, I won't spend too much time because this is a very specific use case. But in terms of lead providers, if you click on the lead provider tab, what you'll see here is there's an email address that each of you will have in your account, and it'll be something like your username at myleads.io. So what you need to do to set up the lead provider is let's use an example. Let's say you have a website, and every one of you has a website, I'm sure. Can't imagine there's anyone watching today that doesn't have a website, right? It's kind of like the core tool of every realtor. Let's say you want to integrate that website where any leads from that website auto-populate your Top Producer. What you would do is essentially go into the back end of your website, and wherever it says, hey, where do you want us to notify you of new leads? You want to use this email address. This is essentially the email address of your Top Producer account for leads. So all of these different sites and tools and lead generation platforms all have this, where it's like, where do you want us to send your leads? And how do you want to be notified? That's where you would just put in that myleads.io email address on those third-party lead sources. If you want to know what lead provider sources are supported, you can click on this link right here. It'll take you to an article on our campus page where you can go through and check if your lead provider is in here. You can see the list. It's quite extensive. And if you need help setting it up, again, as with any of the things we've covered today, you guys can just reach out to us and we'll help you. So we are here for you. We want you to get the most out of this. So yeah. Okay. So again, that is kind of the top 5 things that you need to set up to get the most out of Top Producer. So I just want to kind of recap. Number 1, integrate your MLS so that you can start leveraging property insights. Number 2, integrate your email. So make sure your email is set up so you can send emails out of Top Producer. You can get email tracking, and you can also get email history where you can quickly look at every email you've exchanged with your contact in Top Producer. The third one, set up texting similar to email so that you can text back and forth with a client and have a record of those exchanges stored in your CRM. Number 4, if you have Market Snapshot, you can set that up and start leveraging that and have the visibility into the performance of that product now automatically inside TPX. Number 5, import contacts and or set up your lead providers. Those are really the top 5 things. If you have all those things set up, you now have an amazing foundation to work from and start following up with people and really build those personal relationships that we know are super critical to our business and the success of our business. That being said, I'm going to pause here and now open this up to you guys. What questions do you have for me? So this is where we go to the open forum and you guys can answer questions. So one of the questions I just saw came through, I'm already set up on the old Top Producer. Does it carry over for leads? That is, yes. If your Top Producer Classic is already set up to get leads from those lead providers, you don't need to go and set that up any differently for TPX. That being said, things like email integration, things like MLS credentials, you do need to set those up inside TPX. So leads you don't because those leads are already coming into your database from another source. So I want to turn this over to you guys. What questions do you have for me? And while I'm waiting for a couple of questions, if there is any questions, a couple things just remember, we have some amazing resources. And I just want to remind you guys of the resources that are available to you. Remind everyone right? One is obviously you're watching this on Facebook Live, so I'm going to assume you're part of our Facebook group. We do post a lot of stuff. We do a lot of things on Facebook. Another one is if you're not, make sure you go and view our blog. Make sure you're following our blog. So that's at hub.topproducer.com. We have a ton of amazing content on here, and this is something you can go and check certain things. We've got tips, tricks, strategies for your business. How to really maximize your CRM and get the most out of your database. And then of course we're always here for you, right? So you guys know how to get a hold of us. But at the same time, look, we want you guys to be successful. And all right, looks like we've got some questions coming from. So Carla asked, is this new platform available to work on now? The answer is, Carla, yes. You can access this right from your current version of Top Producer. So if this is the first time you're seeing Top Producer X, this is something that is accessible to you right now. And so I just want to go into TP Classic for a minute. We call it TP Classic here. And just for those of you that are new, when you are in the older version of Top Producer, if you want to just quickly go into the new version, you can just click on this button right here. So I'm on my Top Producer Classic. And if I want to switch over to the new version, and again, I want to just kind of point out, you can use both. So we're not forcing you to go to the new one. We're not forcing you to give up the old one. We would love everyone to use the new one, of course, because we feel like it's got a lot more, it's a lot more robust and easier to use, and it's more modern, right? That being said, we're not forcing you one way or another. The data is the same. So if you make changes or use Top Producer X, that data is here. And okay, but basically to access it, you just click on TPX and it'll take you into the new version. All right, and I apologize, I'm reading questions on my phone here, so let me see what other questions are. Alan asked, the texting phone number, if a client calls it, will it come to my phone? Yes, Alan. So that phone number that we give you is 100% linked to your cell phone number. So if they call it, your cell phone will ring. So it's basically a second phone number that's attached to your cell phone. Great question, though. Cleo asked, I'm using TP email and ADI. Do I have to set up anything in TPX? Cleo, I believe, I'm not 100% sure the answer on that one, but let me do this. I'm going to take that one offline, and I will make sure someone from our customer care team connects with you and explains how you can set that up. So I will double check. So TP ADI. All right, great question. The question was, I use Constant Contact for weekly email that goes out. Do you think I can use TP instead? I'm not sure the difference is. I would suggest that if you're using Constant Contact for things like a mass email, and depending on how big your target list is, I would keep it in Constant Contact. I mean, that's what those platforms are built for. You don't want to be sending out mass email, from your Gmail account, if you know what I mean. So I would say for now, depending on how big your audience is, if the audience is not, you might be able to use Top Producer, but I would continue using Constant Contact for mass emails, bulk emails. Amy asks, any word yet on importing birthdays into TX? Amy, I'm not sure. Is that where that question comes from? Maybe you can just follow up in the chat and just let me know. Is it from like importing birthdays from the current version of Top Producer or importing from social media? Maybe I'm not following the question. Can we default and open to, so another question, can we default and open to TPX without having to select it? Yeah. What you need to do is, if you don't want to go into Classic, all you need to do is, typically people will log in at tpcrm.com for the current version. If you want to just go into the new version, just use crm.topproducer.com. So that's the URL to the new version, is crm.topproducer.com. Just log in there. Make that your site that you log into, and that will take you to the new version. And we'll post that URL in the chat. So if we can just post the URL, crm.topproducer.com. So Amy says from the current version. I didn't realize that birthdays weren't coming over. So Amy, let me get that. I'm going to note that one down, okay, as a follow-up. So I don't have an answer, but I will get you an answer. I promise. Let's see here. Isabel says HDMLS changed to one key and the MLS integration is not recognizing my credentials. Hey, Isabel, what I would recommend is the easiest thing to do is probably just chat with our team. So again, I'm going to try and hide. I don't know if you guys can see this, but let me just try and hide myself here for a minute. All right. One thing I want to just quickly show you, if you need help setting anything up or you're having troubles, there's a couple of ways that you can quickly get help with Top Producer. So I just hid my camera, so I'm hoping this will show up. But the one that you can either pick up the phone or in the bottom right corner inside of Top Producer X, there's a chat now box. This is where you can chat now with our support team live. So Isabel, what I would recommend you do is just chat with someone live on our support team and they can help you get that solved. So if you're just needing like a quick question or just need some quick help with TPX, the easiest thing to do is just chat live with our team. And then again, obviously we are available via phone if you prefer that as well. But I'm a huge fan of the chat support. I think, and these are live humans. I just want to be clear. This is not a bot. So you are talking to live people on our team. So again, that's available inside TPX in the bottom right corner. It says chat now. So Isabel, I'd recommend just chat now with one of our customer care reps and they can help you. That's solved. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. I'm just going to bring up put back on the camera here. Okay. So, you see here. Yeah. So like, look, again, I hope everyone found this session really helpful. One thing I want to say is thank you for participating. I love interacting with you guys through these sessions and everyone on the sessions. I think it's makes the sessions more valuable for everyone. Lots of questions that, again, that some of you probably asked that others probably had, but didn't ask. So, that's when these sessions become really valuable for all that attended. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day and appreciate everyone, joining. And again, if you need help, you can call us, you can email us. We're on our Facebook page. You can, chat live in the product. And again, I hope everyone took something out today that they learned that they can apply to help your business grow, help you, manage your business better. And again, stay tuned. We do these sessions, almost every Wednesday. Not a guarantee we'll do one every Wednesday, but they are almost weekly, and we try to bring new content every week. So I wish everyone an amazing rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Someone asked what my name is. My name is Keith. And with that being said, I'm going to end the stream today, and everyone have a great afternoon. Thank you for attending today.